Hey guys, I'm MTR, also known as Matt the Rat,
Tiffany.
and we're from Comics After Dark, and we are here live at San Diego Comic-Con 2016. Woo!
I've only won one of them. I've only won one of them.
Yeah, it's a series of battles to eventually get to the war.
Yeah, that might be it. That might be it.
Now, real quick, is it Yang or Yang?
Yeah, I usually say Yang.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually say
Okay.
Yang.
I wanted to make sure because
Yeah, yeah.
someone's all Yang, Yang. I'm like,
Yeah.
Is it Yang? And they're like, yeah, it is. I was like, I'm making the pronouncing
Yeah.
Yang on it.
Yeah, it's fine. Yang is fine.
You recording? Oh, good to
Okay,
go.
tell me your name again.
My name is Matt.
Matthew. Okay, great.
Yeah, look, that's the easier way to do it. I'm here with Jin Yang. How are you doing today, good sir? And just a heads up, a lot of people have been leaning up on the mic. We spared no expense for this awesome mic, so you don't have to lean in. We had an interview where someone was like, and just grabbed the mic. We're like, no, you don't need to do that. It's
awesome.
a great mic. So we have a new comic, very interesting premise. It was announced at WonderCon. It is New Superman.
That's right.
And you're behind it.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It wasn't my idea. It was actually the idea.
That's not what I'm gonna give you credit anyways.
Yeah, that was the idea of Jim Lee and Jeff Johns. That's my understanding. And they pitched to me. At first I said no, I did not want to do it. And then
Why?
they seduced me into it.
Why would you say no?
Because it's crazy. I feel like so this is what freaks me out about it. You know, I'm Chinese American. I've never actually lived in China. You know, and my family, like my mom left China when she was just an infant. And she left for political reasons. Her family left for political reasons. They left as the communists were taking over.
Yeah.
So there are all these like really crazy like cultural and political sensitivities around this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just thought, it's a landmine. I do not want to touch it. But then I had these meetings. I had a meeting with Jeff Johns and I had a meeting with Jim Lee. And during those meetings, I started seeing a character in my head. Like he started talking to me, and I was like, I'm gonna have to do it.
So describe this Superman, because he's not like the good old boy that Superman would be in America, if you will. What is the personality of this specific Superman?
This Superman is a dick. That's how he starts off. Like, we wanted him to be as dickish as possible. That was the goal. And the reason was we wanted to pay homage to Clark Kent. You know, if you read early Superman stories from like the late 1930s, early 1940s, that dude was a jerk. You know, like he would beat people up and then he would sermonize at them after he was done. He'd be like, you did this and this and this, and then he would laugh at people for not figuring out his secret identity. And he would do these really brutal things. Like there's this one storyline where he takes these slumlords and he leaves them on a desert island to starve to death. Yeah. And then that was it. That was the end of the story. He never goes back for them, you know? So then eventually,
it's like the whole like Dark Knight, where it's like I'm not gonna kill you, but I don't have to save you either.
exactly. And that's what he was like in the beginning, you know? And then eventually, I think, you know, Superman becomes DC Comics' corporate icon, and he becomes like this moral compass that we all know today. But we wanted to take that storyline that Clark Kent went through over these several decades and kind of condense it into the story of Ken and Kong, of the Chinese Superman.
Which is probably going to be the first thing we're going to conquer on our first story arc. Where does this story arc end?
Well, we have 6 issues planned, and you know, the thing that scared me about this project was all the political stuff. You know, like Superman's supposed to fight for truth, justice, and the American way. What does that mean in modern China? You know, and I just thought, if I'm gonna do it, I should just go for the thing that scares me the most. So it's gonna be about what it means to have a character that's supposed to traditionally represent truth, justice, and the American way in the context of China.
So what research went behind this? Did you go to your parents and were like, how was it back in the day, and maybe got a few ideas?
Yeah, well, I did talk to my parents, but my parents have very specific political leanings, right? They came in the 1970s. Chinese people who came to America in the 1970s, they have very specific views of the communist government and that sort of thing. So I talked to them. I definitely did talk to them. I also talk to people who have experiences of a more modern China. Philip Tan, who's a superstar artist here. I talked with him, and he has relatives who still live in China now. I have friends who live in Shanghai, which is where the story's set, so I emailed them. And I read a couple books too. One book in particular was named The Age of Ambition. It won a National Book Award. Super thick book, but it's awesome. It was amazing. And the author lives in China. He interviewed a whole bunch of Chinese, and he really, like, I think a lot of us, when we think of China nowadays, we think of like those old school communist propaganda posters, you know, and it's not like that at all, right? It's totally different.
But it's now modernized, so you don't have to be worried about stuff like that. Now, out of curiosity, with our I guess Clark Kent, I should say, he's technically, he believes in God and stuff like that. What's the religious belief behind your Superman?
I think even more interesting than religious belief is ideological belief. You know what I mean? And I think they're tied together. They're definitely tied together. But in China, like I'm Catholic. I grew up in a Chinese Catholic community, and there's a very interesting relationship between communist China and religion, right? So back in the day, like when my parents left, it was like a no-no. You know what I mean? Like you were just not allowed to believe in any sort of religion. And then they realized that people were still religious. There were still pockets of religion. So what they did was they created like these state-sponsored versions of the major world religions. So in China, if you want to be Catholic, you can join the state-approved Catholic Church. If you want to be Buddhist, you can join a state-approved Buddhist community, right? So in our book, the Chinese are super into these American superheroes. And one way China's dealing with it is by creating state-approved superheroes. And that's what Chinese Superman is. Yeah, that's how he starts at least.
Okay, no worries. I'll go ahead and edit that out. Originally, I thought you were going to say, like, he was a Taoist. I was like, that's awesome. He's going with the flow. He's just like, you know what? I'm just going to do what I can with it.
So Taoism is going to play a huge part in the story.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. That's why his S is in an octagon.
Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. And, of course, last but not least, where can we find you on the internet?
So I am at GeneLuenYang.com. That's my full name, GeneLuenyang.
All right, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt. Great to talk to you.